What's up, everyone? If you've been watching any of the videos thus far on the YouTube channel, you've noticed we've done a lot of film related topics. Well, we do genre film and music. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about music. And every Monday, we're going to be doing a music episode. Every Monday, there will be a music episode. Could be talking about a band, any artist, a record label, a new release, anything. But today we are talking about a new release. And it's going to be Converge's new record. If you're a heavy music fan, you know the name Converge. They've been around since 1991, I think is when they became active. They've dominated the heavy music scene for over 3 decades at this point, and they are a band that continues to get better, in my opinion. That could be some of the records people could debate whether or not they're better than some of the older material, things like that. But it seems like every time Converge puts out a new record, it's the talk of the town. It's the talk of the town because they've maintained an integrity I think a lot of heavy bands lose over time. Be it they want to experiment with different things, they want to go in different directions. Now, Converge has experimented. They put out a record a few years ago, collaboration with Chelsea Wolfe, very experimental as far as, what Converge's output has been. But this new record, I think, stacks up pretty well against the rest of the catalog. It coming in just over a half hour long. We got Love Is Not Enough from Converge. Of course, put out on Death Wish and Epitaph records. They've been on Epitaph since You Fail Me in 2004, because Jane Doe came out in 2001. That was Equal Vision. So they've been on Epitaph since You Fail Me, I believe. And this record coming in a little bit shorter of a record for them. I'm not mad. I kind of like my records now like I like my movies at the standard mark. So if you're between 30 and 40 minutes on a record, that's equivalent for me for a movie being 90 minutes. It's not the James Cameron 3 hour and 14-minute film. This isn't an hour and a half long record. It's a little bit over 30 minutes, and it's very heavy. The heavy songs in it, we have an instrumental in Beyond Repair, which is like a mid track. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a fifth track. So the first single that they released from this was the title track, Love Is Not Enough, which is a crazy. Their title tracks always go hard. Jane Doe, You Fail Me, Axe to Fall. All their title tracks go hard. I feel like sometimes bands, their title tracks are forgettable. Not always, but sometimes. Converge's title tracks are always insane. And of course, Jake Bannon doing the art as he has with, I think, every single Converge record, except the early ones. The early ones were Derek Hess, like Petitioning and the earlier records. But this record, we got an angel dude, a demon, a fallen angel. We got a little tail going there. Some evil. They love Jake Bannon loves the art direction of anything with wings. A lot of wings on stuff. Fallen angels. Is this a demon? I don't know. But always love. One thing I'm not big on, the cardstock. Now, as you can see, I did the CD. I had all of Converge's records on vinyl. Decided to get rid of the vinyl for some bands and just stick straight CD for some bands. Now, I still collect vinyl. I've downsized over the last 5 or 6 years. But CD is the ultimate format in my eyes because guess what? You get a physical release, but this right here, it's forever digital, baby. This is buy a disc drive for whatever your computer setup is. You got it digitally forever. And you got it physically. So, Bad Faith, second track. Oh my God. This is a loose review, by the way. This isn't a crazy, step-by-step, by the numbers review. I kind of just go off the cuff. It's kind of how I've ran a podcast since 2017 as well, that Sight and Sound podcast. And, but this record, I feel like I don't want to say, it sounds so stupid, and I'm sure the members would probably deny it, but it feels, even if it's not their intention, it feels like they were out to prove something. And I don't know what that is, or maybe perhaps they have nothing to prove. Surely their success in their standing within the heavy music community, they don't have anything to prove. But seeing these guys for as many times as I have, the last time I saw them was in late 2004, and they're still a juggernaut. These guys are in their 50s. I think Ben Kohler's late 40s. The drumming on this is just sicker than DS. And I'll tell you what, right now, the song Force Meets Presence, there's criminal activity gonna be going on when that song gets played live. Next time I see Converge live, I'm going to witness criminal activity. Because it's that heavy, and it just it's insane. It's literally insane. And I would be embarrassed if I was a heavy band right now and I'm playing on a bill with Converge. I'm embarrassed, because if they come out and they play a song like the title track on here, Love Is Not Enough, Bad Faith, or Force Meets Presence, I'm gonna be. I couldn't imagine being. I was in bands for years, but I'll tell you right now, I couldn't imagine being one of their contemporaries, or especially a younger band that's heavy. And I know it's kind of a unfair way to look at it, but if I'm a heavy band and I'm on a show with Converge, I want to play way before them, because I couldn't imagine going out after Converge. Especially with some of these new songs. Like, obviously Converge's catalog is, everyone loves Jane Doe, everyone loves You Fail Me, everyone loves No Heroes, everyone loves Axe to Fall. Especially from Jane Doe on, I feel like their range for fandom widened gigantically. And they've always been a band. It's funny, when you're in high school in the early 2000s, and people take jabs at the music you're listening to, because they're listening to stuff you would never listen to, and you're listening to Crazy Chaotic, you're listening to Concubine by Converge. It's legitimately, it's funny, because they are truly the band where you have to read the lyrics to know what he's saying 99% of the time. But you have to read the lyrics, and by reading the lyrics you understand the content, the intent. And that's what I always loved about Converge, because if you listen to it, like, aside from a handful of songs, like, you couldn't tell me the lyrics to some songs unless you look them up. But that was the beauty of Converge, because they were that band that fit the hilarious stereotype that people would take jabs at you and be like, you can't even hear what they're saying, you don't even know what they're saying. You'd be like, no, but I read the lyric book, and I do know now. Yeah, they're just a band that they age. I mean, this has been said, I feel like, about a lot of bands, is bands aging like a fine wine. The older they get, the better they get. Nothing could be a more fair statement than for Converge. They are a band that I started seeing, I think the first time I saw them was 2002, maybe 2003. And I remember my head being, and I'm going to be completely honest with you, I didn't get it at that point. It was a little too, to say it was too chaotic for me. I was into even more, chaotic adjacent stuff, early 18 Visions, and so much metal, hardcore, early metalcore, not the auto-tune weird stuff that cosplays as like metalcore over the last like 15 years. It's kind of embarrassing. But yeah, to say I got Converge right away, I 100% didn't. I did not get Converge. I didn't get what they were doing until the Eagles Become Vultures music video that would be on the revamped Headbangers Ball in, say, like late 2004, early 2005. And when I heard that song, and then I went and they played with 100 Demons at was it the Lost? I think it was the Lost Horizon here in Syracuse, but it might have been, was it no, it was at the Lost, I think, if I remember correctly. I can't remember. But they played with the 100 Demons, and like I was into 100 Demons at the time, and it was a literal insane show. The flyer is so sick. If I can find it, I'll put it up right here. But um, and that's when I got that's when I was like, okay, this is chaos. This is true chaos. In the best way possible. And I've been on board since You Fail Me. I had seen them once or twice between Jane Doe and You Fail Me. And I think when I first saw them, Jane Doe had probably been out a year or so. And then I saw them, I think, one more time, and I was still like, yeah, I don't know if it's my vibe, but when I heard the big drum, the great drum intro for Eagles Become Vultures, and saw the music video, I was like, okay, I'm on board with these guys. And then seeing them in late 2004 on that show, and I think it was 100 Demons, Cave In, and Converge, insane show. And yeah, they've Axe to Fall, No Heroes I liked. Axe to Fall came out, I was obsessed with that record. All You Love You Leave Behind in 2012. Obsessed with that record, and they just keep putting out records that I love. And for them to put out a half hour or so of music now that's as angry, aggressive, and just the intent of just just heavy is it's just great. It's great to hear from a band. I think as people get older too, I feel like some people mellow out with their tastes, and I haven't. I listen to some lax shit. I will bump some Sade. I will bump Bjork because those are my girls. I'll listen to, I'll even get a little even out there, Explosions in the Sky, more laid back like stuff, and I can listen to like some City and Color and stuff like that, and I'll bump some Joni Mitchell here and there. How about that? But I feel like a lot of people, they get a little too calloused from hearing something so abrasive. I thoroughly enjoy it. I put this on my streaming app the first morning at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I got halfway to work, and Force Meets Presence came on, and it's like 5:20 in the morning, and my head is gonna swivel off the axis of my body. That good, that much fun. Highly recommend this record. I know I just ramble, and this has kind of been a weird review, but that's kind of what I do, and I kind of like just getting my thoughts out on a record. And this record is, it's crazy in February to already start saying like this is probably going to be album of the year contender, but right now I don't know who's going to be sniffing this anytime soon. I'm sure there'll be some good contenders in there, but good Lord, whenever Converge puts out a record, it's always going to be in the contention for a lot of people. If you're a heavy music listener, and for me, when Converge puts out a record, it's always going to be talked about within the first few, the first three records that I love of the year. So whatever year they do that, put out a record, I'm usually on board with it. Again, you can get the vinyl of this. I think it's up in the Death Wish store. It's probably on the Epitaph store. This is, if you're into heavy and you really want heavy, this is the way to go. This is the way. Love Is Not Enough just came out, and like I said, I came and I copped the CD because I like CDs, and I have all the records on CD. Used to have all the vinyl, and I realized I didn't need vinyl and CD, so I kept CDs, and CDs are super nostalgic for me because that's where I started buying. My first Converge purchase was You Fail Me on CD, so I still have that. But yeah, that's it. Converge, Love Is Not Enough. Check it out. Just insane band that are just they're remaining nutty. I was gonna say they're getting nuttier. I don't know if they can get any nuttier. They're just remaining crazier and nuttier as the years go on, and I'm thankful for it because I need some angry music in my life, and Love Is Not Enough is definitely it's feeding that urge. So check it out. The new Converge, Love Is Not Enough. Get it at a local record shop if you can, or buy it directly from the band. So check it out. Thanks.